Paperback by Tim Fowers is a duck building game about word building, which is a unique take, but it works really well. In Paperback, you are trying to build words the same way you would normally try to collect points to buy other cards, but in this case you're buying letters to add into your deck so you can build better words. It's a very simple deck builder mechanic, and I'm kind of surprised nobody applied it to word building before now. Don't let my quiet tone about this game deter you from picking it up if you can get a copy. I really like this game, but I'm in a bookstore, so I have to be quiet. Every turn you start with a hand of 5 cards, which are letters, and then you assemble those letters into a word. Every word that you use in your letter will give you a point value, which you can use to then buy more letters to add to your deck. As per standard deck builder rules, whenever you build a word and you finish your turn, you discard all of your cards in your hand, even the ones you didn't use, and any cards that you might have gamed. Put them in your discard, and then you draw 5 new cards. If you can't draw 5 new cards, you draw however many you can, then shuffle your discard pile, and then draw back up so you get to 5. Aside from building words, the goal of Paperback is to get the most points. The way that you get points is you build words that have a high enough point value that you can buy one of the Paperback novels, which will only give you points at the end of the game. They also count as wild cards, but they don't add anything to your score during the game, they're just for after the game. Sometimes there's letters that when you use them in a word, they have special powers at the bottom. Some of them let you trash cards, some of them give you more money to buy with, and some of them let you have more cards in the next round. Having more cards is helpful because one of the ways that the game would end is when all the common cards are gone. There are 4 common cards in every game, and the only way to get these common cards is to be able to make words with however many letters is denoted on the common cards. First one's 7, then 8, then 9, then 10, and then the game's over when that 10th one is picked up. The common letters are vowels, generally. Sometimes there's a space, and then sometimes it's a backwards thing. You can use the face-up common letter whenever you make a word, but you don't pick up that letter and use it, you just say that you're using it. So if it's an O and you have a B, M, B, S, you could say bombs and put the O in the middle. The other way the game ends is when 2 of the dime store novel piles are gone. The number of cards in the dime store novel pile is determined by how many players are playing, 2 to 4. So how long the game goes on is pretty typical actually, to be about 45 minutes to an hour. It really depends on how fast and how quickly you can spell. And with this game, sometimes it's tricky. Like when you get a hand with absolutely no vowels, so the only vowel you have is the common word, that's tough. With Paperback, you can kind of end up in one of those situations where you feel a little trapped by your hand. That's why it's helpful that there's wild cards, and then there's cards that'll let you trash cards eventually. So you can do that thing where you clear out your deck to hopefully get more available cards. It's no mystery why I like this game. It's a deck builder, which means it has some mechanics that I already know and love, and it's a fun word building game, which means it has a theme that I can use to get other people that aren't necessarily into sci-fi or fantasy into gaming. Which is one of the main reasons I love it. It's really hard to find like hardcore mechanic games that have a theme that will click with a lot of people, and word building games is a theme / mechanic that works really well. Is word building a mechanic? I don't really feel like it is. I feel like it's more of a theme, but it has mechanic prospects. You go into more detail about the game, like there are certain cards that are cheap for 2 cents that you can buy, but then when you use them they're discarded, and those are one way to get vowels. But really the best way to get vowels is to get wild cards, which is the little dime store novels. But you don't want too many of those too early because then your deck gets flooded with wilds, and then wilds don't give you purchasing points to use during the game, so those are kind of useless until the end of the game, but they still help you get vowels, which helps you get words. It's just, it's a balancing act. Deck builder is always a balancing act, and in this one especially because of the word building mechanic. I guess that means I've decided it's a mechanic. The art in Paperback is really nice. It's kind of like this dime store noir-y thing, which works perfectly for the theme because you buy copies of little dime store novels by Page Turner. How punny. Tim's also included a lot of rules variations, so once you get the game down pat and you start making a lot of words and getting really good at it, or if you're playing with somebody that's really good with words, you can try one of the rules variants. There's even a rule variant for co-op. Paperback was originally Kickstarted last year, and Tim isn't planning to put it in stores, so getting a copy is kind of difficult. There are still copies available, and he is thinking about making a second run, but I would go ahead and grab a copy now if you can. Paperback is a good game, and it's a fun deck builder, which, like I said, makes sense for word building. If you like word building games and you like deck builders, or maybe you just know somebody that likes word building games and you want to get them into the mechanic of deck building, this is a great game for that. It's also a good game to learn and build words, and there's rules for making words together so that everybody can benefit. Because there are a limited number of copies of this game left, and you won't be able to really find it in stores, Tim has offered to give away a copy of his game to one of my viewers. If you'd like a chance to win your own copy of Paperback, then just go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and then share it on one of the social media networks that I'm on. So G+, Facebook, or Twitter, and I guess I have a Tumblr too, but I don't really know how to use that. So if somebody wants to teach me, that would be great. For everybody that shares this video and is a subscriber, you'll be entered into a drawing, and then I will roll some dice and pick one winner who Tim will ship a copy of this delightful game to for free.